Hope everyone's doing well. My name is EQ and welcome to another episode of Stonkaholics. On this episode we're going to be going over Avalanche or AVAX, going over everything about it, going through a nice little technical analysis and a walkthrough of everything about it. And at the end we're going to wrap everything up with price predictions, long and short. Before we jump into the video, if you could throw a like and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. And let's get it rolling. Before we get into it, I want to appreciate you guys and say thank you for helping us get our first video over 3,000 views, the Wink Link video. It's huge. Bless you guys. So today we're going to be going over Avalanche, currently ranked number 38. AVAX is going for $36.36 at the moment. So AVAX currently has a total supply of 383 million coins, a max supply of 720 million, so it's finite and deflationary. And it's currently supplying 128.8 million of those coins, which is 18% of its total supply, or max supply. AVAX is an open source platform for launching highly decentralized apps, new financial primitives, and new inoperable blockchains. We've got a nice list of people backing them. You see building without limits, open source decentralized apps, highly scalable ecosystem, and Rival, which is where you can buy and sell tokens that represent shares in a litigation and access a multi-billion-dollar investment class previously unavailable to the public. This is huge. I don't think people are realizing how much this is actually going to push Avalanche and AVAX. You can see they've already been featured in Bloomberg, The Block, Wired, CoinDesk, obviously. Overall solid project with a lot of good backing. They're heavy on the dev side of things, and I've heard a lot of really good things about AVAX. So jumping into their white paper real quick. Avalanche is a high-performance, scalable, customizable, and secure blockchain platform. It targets three broad use cases: building application-specific blockchains, spanning permissioned private and permissionless public deployments, building and launching highly scalable and decentralized applications, DApps, and building arbitrarily complex digital assets with custom rules, covenants, and writers, which are smart assets. You can see by construction, Avalanche is scalable, secure, decentralized, governable, democratic, interoperable, and flexible. If you have the time, you can go through this a little bit more, but this will tell you exactly what every section is going to be going through, including the engines and all that kind of stuff. And now we have the open source code information from Avalanche. This one's a little bit easier to read. So you can see Avalanche observed a record of 1,000 plus block producers from independent parties across the globe just during testnet, which is surpassing testnets from some of the highly anticipated networks and most of the major active mainnets. So let's look at some major facts. Avalanche is a high-speed smart contracts platform that supports sub-second finality and Visa level throughput. It features complete support for the Ethereum virtual machine, and thus Ethereum tooling works out of the box. Avalanche supports application-specific sharding, empowering developers to launch apps. Supports not just application-level programmability, but also network-level programmability. Fully supports NFTs, with plans to create a registry so you can discover and explore the entire universe of NFTs on Avalanche. And then some economic facts: that AVAX is the native token of Avalanche. It's a capped supply of 720 million tokens. 50% of those tokens will be on mainnet. AVAX serves as the base unit of account in the Avalanche network, provides the base security guarantees, pays for operations, and provides a wide suite of utility services. And AVAX transaction fees are burned, increasing scarcity of AVAX. So that's a great thing to see. It's deflationary, and it's going to be increasing in value as they burn more tokens, like a Bitcoin, but with way more usability. So you can see with their tokenomics, the majority of the coin is going to be given out through staking rewards, so a POS system. All in all, I'm excited for Avalanche to see what it does. It's a relatively new coin. It was released in 2020. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this as it gains more traction. I think it's going to be able to push the top 20, maybe even top 15 or top 10. It could replace the Sol up there or something like that, but let's jump into the charts and see. This is the entire history of the AVAX chart. Stayed nice and flat, finally got a little push up, and we had our little consolidation support held here, and that's what started the first impulse move. From that move we had a nice little dip and a consolidation. So because we have essentially have a triple top, a potential triple top incoming, so we definitely want to talk about that. So you have one top, two top, and the third top here. If that happens, we can see price come back down and retest another support, maybe down here somewhere. So keep that in mind as you're watching this chart. And moving forward, that this point we'll mark it on here with the ray as well. This area right here is a major resistance point. There's only a few bodies, so none of the bodies have even actually closed off this area. This one technically did, but barely, and came right back down. So we want to see AVAX break this resistance and find support on top of this resistance. You might see this drop down, and for the long-term buyers, you might get a nice little discount down here somewhere, maybe even here. It's important to notice that this also makes itself a channel. So we're looking for price to actually break out of here, and if you see my other videos, you know I usually talk about the midpoint of a consolidation channel. So we have a major resistance, didn't hold support, acted as resistance, tried to break up, hit this resistance, came all the way back down because there was no support hold to begin with. Came to the bottom of the channel, tried to work its way back up, found a couple resistance shots, and then took a shot, hit this major resistance again for a double top, shot price all the way back down out of the channel temporarily, and now it worked its way all the way back up. It's trying to find support again and made another push for the third time to try to break this resistance. So we are still in channel. Price can still drop back down. Remember that with consolidation channels, as you can see, it can just as easily break out as it can come back down. So right now we're just waiting for confirmation to see what's going to happen next. But realistically, what I want to see from this is price come down to this $31 range and find support and give a little more room on the STO RSI, and hopefully find support on the 50 RSI. And then from there, it should have enough gas to pop right out here. Either come all the way up and test its all-time high, or it might come out, sit on a support line if it wants to sit on support, and then test all-time highs before we get into the next step, which is talking about the retracement and the extensions of the Fibonacci. So going to Old Faithful, we would start at the top of the SR flip all the way to the top of the move. So you can see price has been holding support at the 78.60, which is common and normal for a large impulse move. Now when this wants to complete its retracement and get back up here and then start a major impulse move, we're looking at price being able to push all the way over $100 on this one. We're currently sitting at $36. We might see it dip back down to $31 range, and then from there we can go up to 100. At the lowest it'll be 73. So take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3. But all in all, it's a nice little move for one impulse. If you're getting it somewhere around here, you're 3 timesing if it was to fulfill and hit the take profit 3, which is a nice little return on that investment. Also wanted to take a quick look at the total market cap for altcoins, because we're seeing a little bit of red right now, which in our Discord group we were talking about this a little bit, just because it did pass the take profit 1, was starting to push into the take profit 2, but it was starting to really sit in this overbought area on the STO RSI, and it's hitting resistance at the 70-75 RSI. So I was saying in the group that I wanted this to come down a little bit and hold on this take profit 1 line, or even come down to this last minute resistance, or even come down to this last hold support at 1.193 trillion. If price can come down to here and sit for a little bit, that should give the STO RSI just enough room to be able to break up again and have this RSI break the 70 and get a nice little impulse pop as we make our way up to our 3-to-1. And if we can get to the 3-to-1, that's probably when I'll be closing the majority of my trades out, except for anything that I'm holding in staking or something like that. And then we'll probably see a nice little retracement or something like that coming soon. But for the time being, I think price is going to continue to go up. You might get a little retracement, like I said, but I don't think it's going to be anything bad in like 25-30% range. That's going to be coming a little bit later in the next couple of weeks or so. We'll save that for when that time comes. So spinning back to AVAX, I got to go to a different chart because I charted this somewhere else. Based on this AVAX chart, our short-term push is going to be anywhere from $70 to $100. It could go more than that. It could go less than that. These are just projections based on the Fibonacci retracement and extension rules. Now looking at a long term for AVAX, you're sitting at 38 and almost a $5 billion market cap. If it wanted to get into the top 10, let's say, or top 15, it needs to basically get to the $15 billion market cap range, which I think that can do it. So you're talking about a 3 times move. If you're at $40, it'll be around $120, around anywhere from like 110 or so is going to be the projected long-term price for Avalanche. And ironically enough, that push, in order for it to get to even the 10 billion or 15 billion market cap, is going to be what we were talking about from this next impulse move. And then from there, Avalanche, if it wants to grow, is going to be able to break into the top 10, which is big news. And that about wraps up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you didn't have a chance before, please throw a like or subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.